We got a She-Hulk episode to talk about, and in my view, this is easily the best She-Hulk episode.
It was fun. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily the best. And here's why I think it's the best. First, the directing was fun. I like they let the actors do a lot of work, not a whole bunch of dialogue. That was good. The music was fun. I think that She-Hulk's CGI probably looks the best we've seen. And I have a theory about that, but
I still don't think it's as good as the first episode, but it was pretty good in this episode.
It looked really, really good, especially the scene where she's actually talking as She-Hulk about her emotional issues when she's sitting at.
Yeah, that looked really good. That did look.
Yeah, they did a really good job. Like this, she's got more definition in her muscles and stuff like that.
What's your theory?
The theory is that as far as a budget, the more CGI they have in the episode, they have to tone it down in certain places. So if it's a heavy CGI episode, they go like, but who knows? I love all the actors. I love all the B-list Marvel characters, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Okay.
Everything about the show, except I did not like that you were right. Super annoying.
I was extremely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's why it annoys me that you're right, and we'll talk about the episode.
Okay.
It's annoying because it's a very, very obvious thing to do. Like anybody who's taking a community college writing class can figure out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really annoying that they just did this thing like that. It's like they did the most obvious thing that you could expect, which is
why weren't you expecting it?
Because I was hoping that the writers would do something a little different. You know, like they were. I was hoping that they would be a little more creative. I was rooting for the writers, and instead they kind of just did what we all thought they would do. It's like, okay, well, I was wrong about that. Oh well.
I just think, it's a good thing that you're not a woman because you would be taken advantage of for all these guys.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like, Josh is all right. There's nothing wrong with him. What's his face? The other guy.
Well, I mean, at some point you would think that Jen would find some happiness, but maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe she doesn't have to find happiness with a man.
It's a rough road for a woman that is a Hulk as well.
Well, maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe she needs to find happiness in another way without having to rely on a significant dude. Maybe she can find some other place. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the show. What did you think of it?
I thought it was really fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't exactly know why. I can't put a pin on it. Kind of the way that you did.
It just felt fresh.
It
felt like they got all their. They feel like they've gotten all this. Like if you think about it, this is episode 7?
7.
Most Marvel shows that we review are done already. So this show is like we've already done all this stuff. Now we got 7, 8, 9. We got 3 episodes where we can kind of just relax a little bit and do new things. And so I really think that the story beats have finally kind of come to fruition about her dichotomy between Jen and She-Hulk. I like that she finally kind of like dealt with that, or at least talked about it. Emil Blonsky was really good in this. The actor, of course, fantastic. Tim Roth, fantastic.
Right. Yep.
Everything around it was just good. And I felt like the other episodes were just really, really trying to kind of establish things and push things. And now we're just kind of relaxing. And this, hopefully, in episodes 8 and 9 will also be as relaxing. We still haven't seen Daredevil, which is getting super annoying. Like, what is taking so long?
He's got to be in the next 2 episodes, right?
He's got to be in the next
2.
He's got to be in the next episode. It's kind of ridiculous.
I think both. He's got to be in 8 and 9, right?
He's not going to be in both episodes.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. No. He might be in the last one the way it's looking. I don't know. It's crazy. But, I mean, there's other things I thought we'd see, but I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I was expecting Daredevil. I've been fooled enough times that I wasn't expecting him in the 7th episode.
Yeah. Well, let's do a recap. So, Jen goes on a date with Josh. She goes on several dates with Josh. They have sex, which is fine, I guess. And then she gets a call from Emil's parole officer, and they have to go to Emil because apparently his inhibitor bracelet was malfunctioning.
Right.
That's going to be a plot point later. There's no way that that happened by accident. He definitely did that on purpose. He's been changing into Abomination.
You think so? You didn't buy his story about the chicken?
No, of course.
I totally bought his story.
Okay.
I mean, it was more convincing than Josh was.
Oh, yeah, okay. And then there's a little superhero fight between Man Bull and Aguila at Rex Jen's car, and she's stuck on the commune.
Retreat.
Yeah, and then she kind of has to hang out. The funniest thing about this episode was how Jen texted Josh, but he didn't text back, and we were all able to like nod our heads when that happens. You know, it's like, what is it about? Like when we were younger, Mike, it was a phone call we were waiting on. You know, and now it's like, imagine having a cell phone in your pocket waiting for a text all day. It must be super annoying.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that.
I'm glad we're both married. Like, it's just nice. It's like, if I text my wife and she doesn't text me back, I'm like, well, something's going on. I don't know. I'll figure it out. You know, like she'll text me back at some point. But if you're single, like, does he like me? Oh my God. It's like, whatever. I'm not dealing with that anymore. Like, that's not a feeling I want to feel. So that's super funny. We did get some new characters. You want to list these guys off?
I mean, this is really the only questions that I have about like comic stuff in this show, unless I missed anything that you caught. But there's this new gang of superpowered people. Yeah, I was going to say I don't know really what to call them. So we've got, first off, we have Man Bull. What can you tell us about Man Bull? I like that it's Man Bull instead of Bull Man.
Yeah, Man Bull.
The way there's like, Spider-Man, Batman,
Man Bull.
Right.
Not much. He apparently, if in the comics, he kind of drank some serum and he got his powers. And he's kind of like, all these guys are B-listers, man. Like B-listers. Like I've only seen one of them, but the rest of them I've never heard of before.
And this one, Man Bull said that it was a lab accident. So
basically, that's it. Pretty much a lab. And I kind of like that he said, "Oh, it was a lab accident. Don't worry about it." And she was like, "Okay, well, whatever." Right. And we are full on. The MCU is full of super people at this point, and the show is like complete. Like this is nothing. We've never seen anything like this before. Like
I saw somebody complaining about that on Twitter. There's like, where's all these superpowered people coming from? They're not explaining where they're coming from. Yeah, well, in the Marvel comics, they're not explained either. Like the show, the MCU is mimicking the comics at this point, which is pretty fun. In the comics, people show up with superpowers all the time, and it's just like, okay, well, whatever. And I like that She-Hulk's kind of embracing that. It's like really fun, and that's the way it should be. Like MCU should be fun, and they're making it really fun. El Aguila is really interesting. You want to know why he's interesting, Mike? Why? Did you remember the scene where he stood up and he pulled his sword out and it had some kind of electrical discharge? Right. Yeah. Emil said, we've talked about this. No bioelectrical stuff while we're in session. Yeah. He is a confirmed. So he's actually mutant. Creating that. Yeah, he's a mutant. 100%. It's so interesting. Apparently, so in the comics, he's a mutant officially. Yeah. Okay. And apparently he lost his powers during M Day. I'm not sure if we ever talked about M Day. Have we ever talked about that? I think we did at some other with like Doctor Strange or WandaVision or something like that. M Day is in the comics. Wanda says no more mutants, and most mutants in the world lose their powers. So he lost his powers during that situation. And but it's really cool. I haven't bothered trying to confirm this, but my suspicion is the reason they did that is they didn't have rights to mutants in films, so they're like, let's just get rid of them in our comics for a while. Maybe. I think it's more like a really cool story element. It was a really big deal when it happened. Yeah, really big deal. What was I gonna say? Oh, he's confirmed mutant. Aguila. Yeah, so so we officially have mutants now. Like last episode, Mr. Immortal, he was a mutant. I don't know if I said that or not, but he was a mutant. You did so we have that, mutants. Yep. And so I think it's kind of neat that the MCU, Disney is sort of like, instead of saying mutants could be something, we're going to introduce them, they're like, no, mutants are here.
They're fine. It's sort of like mutants are just kind of going to start popping up, and you just got to get used to it.
And by the way, X-Men's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Eventually, we don't know when yet. Soon. But we talk about that. That's news you can't abuse. Chill out. Who's the next guy?
Saracen.
Saracen is from the comics. Saracen is actually I've heard.
Emil said he thinks he's a vampire.
In the comics, he is a vampire. In fact, he's like one of the ancient vampires. Like one of 4 super ancient vampires. Mike, no one's heard of this character in the comics. If someone would have said, "I'm Saracen" from the comics, I'd be like, I don't recognize you. And I know my comic history is a little dated. It's like 20 years old. Mm-hmm. But I did read a lot of comics up until 20 years, and I never heard of Saracen.
But in the comics, based on your research since watching the episode, he's like a really high level vampire, like on par with Dracula.
Yeah, I would say that. But again, no one cares.
Right.
His little profile is like half a page long. No big deal.
Gotcha.
And my personal,
definitely not on par with Dracula in this episode.
No. And I'll talk more about it in a second. But my favorite one is Porcupine.
Yeah.
That he was super fun in that show. Like super funny. I loved how when he spoke and said things that kind of echoed in his mask. This show did a really good job picking the 4 superpowered people they wanted in this situation and kind of making them look kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I think they did a fantastic job with that because like all 4 of them were just like characters that you kind of wanted to hang out with. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw, you would definitely, I would say you will probably see these 4 again in some kind of fashion, either in She-Hulk or in something else. That She-Hulk has introduced a lot of cool characters like what's her name? Madison.
Madison.
The magic. Yeah, the magician dude. What was his name? Not Johnny Blaze. Donnie Blaze. Donnie Blaze.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things that She-Hulk created that they're definitely going to dip back into at some point. It's just too fun. Mm-hmm. And Porcupine was.
I saw some comic panels that showed Porcupine. And in this episode, he's dressed really faithfully to the comics.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I love when he took off his mask and he was just stinky. I was like, oh my god,
been wearing it for a long time.
Yeah, it was fun. And of course, the Wrecker. Now this is interesting. The Wrecker
this is saw a previously before. On guy.
Yeah, we saw him before in a previous episode. He attacked Jen to get her blood, and it was unsuccessful. When Jen sees him, she attacks him. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they start talking. But there's a plot hole here.
I like how they did the previously on in this episode because I for sure wouldn't have recognized this guy if they hadn't done
neither. I looked at him for a long time. I was like, I don't remember him. But there's a pretty big plot hole. He was hired or tasked to get her blood.
Right.
Why didn't he tell her about that there? He should have said, hey, listen, I'm not a bad guy anymore, but someone is trying to get your blood, and I need to tell you about the details.
That's a good
we didn't get any of that. So it was kind of not, I guess it would be suspect, but if he's really turned the table, why didn't he tell Jen?
Would he know Josh? Like, would they be coworkers?
I don't know. Maybe not. But that's a, if you're doing a show like this, anybody who was editing it or talking about it or working on it would be like, that's a pretty sizable plot hole. I don't think they would have done that. They're not inept, right? So I think that the showrunners, that's going to come up later. Like the Wrecker is going to show up at some point later.
Do you think the Wrecker really hasn't turned a new leaf?
I don't know. But it's just a little weird to me that he was there. He was hired to steal her blood.
Yeah.
But then they all became all chummy and friends, but he's not going to say, hey, I need to warn you or something. It's just kind of a bit odd. Kind of weird.
Well, unfortunately, the thing that he needs to warn her about has already happened.
That's true. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. But he still, he doesn't know it's happened unless he's still in contact with Josh.
Yeah, I know. But going back to all the characters and stuff, all these characters, except for the Wrecker, the Wrecker was an actual pretty high ranking, pretty high level supervillain that fought Thor and other characters a lot. And his crowbar had a lot of Asgardian magical elements. So he's kind of a throwaway. He's like, Marvel could have done better with him in the MCU. The Wrecking Crew could have been far more interesting, but now they're just kind of like done. The rest of these B-level characters are fun. I think that Disney and Marvel, they should do this more often. We should see more B-level characters.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're fun. Everybody likes to like look at them and talk about them. But they're so like there's such a inadequate character in the bigger scheme of Marvel that nobody's going to miss them. So I'm curious to see if they're going to do this more often. It's pretty fun to see all these characters.
Right.
Pretty fun stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do a few seconds here. What are they going to do with her blood? Why? I have a theory about this, but I want to know what you think. What do you think they're going to do from a story element? Why take her blood? Why do they need it? What do you think?
I mean, I guess somebody's trying to create a new Hulk. That's the best I can come up with.
Here's why that makes sense, and you are, 1 for 1 here. You're doing really well. Here's my theory.
Yeah. Okay.
The show has done a good job saying it's going right but turning left. Like with Titania, we thought she'd be a super bad villain and she's going to be like, they're going to do big fights. But we haven't really seen that. Titania in the
I don't think
episode,
we're done with Titania yet.
No, of course not.
I think she's coming back.
Yeah, but she became more sympathetic,
right.
in the episode we saw her.
Right.
The Wrecking Crew, the Wrecking Crews who aren't who we expect. Emil Blonsky is like totally not what we thought we would see. I think, here's my theory. Yeah. We know that Jen's blood has healing elements because Banner used her blood to heal his arm, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got me so far. I think the leader needs her blood to heal himself. I think that something's wrong with him and he needs her blood to fix it. And I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a place where he needs it to become better or something like that. This show isn't going to be like a super villain battle royale type deal. I definitely see Jen using her powers more and being more of a superhero type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see us having this massive supervillain fight like we've seen with Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel and the other shows. I don't feel like the show wants to do that. And I don't feel like it is going to do that. But
you're starting to make me think with like what you were saying just now and something you said earlier in the podcast. I'm now wondering if this episode was part of a delay tactic that whoever's after her blood pulled. It's like, okay, I've got her blood now. We need to keep her busy for a while so I can do some stuff.
So you're saying Man Bull and Aguila are all in on it?
Emil, I need you. Because Emil knows who the leader is, right? They were
we don't know that. We barely. If you watch the movie.
But so they cross paths though in the Hulk movie.
Yeah,
maybe they know each other.
That's a reach.
It's a reach. Maybe he says, Emil, needs you to get She-Hulk's attention for a little while. Let's do something with your inhibitor so that she has to come out there with your parole officer. Then, do something to keep her there. And Emil's like, all right, well, let's get Man Bull to trash her car so she can't leave. And then I'll do everything I can to encourage her to stay. Like, oh, this is a great opportunity. Blah, 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 blah. And then that's why the Wrecker is also there because he's still working for the leader or whoever's behind all this. And that's why he doesn't warn Jen.
Crazier things have been said on this podcast. but it's pretty far fetched. But it could work. It could be true. I don't know.
I'm just wondering now. I'm just wondering something you said made me start thinking that.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope not. I like the idea that Emil's reformed. I like the idea of those 4 goofballs.
I like it, but it's a little weird, isn't it? It's a little weird.
No, it's like the show is the whole show is going to do things that you didn't expect. Like we never thought we'd see.
In the movie, Emil was like a really gung ho soldier guy.
He changed. He's definitely changed. The movie's pretty old, you know. And like we never thought we'd see She-Hulk twerking, you know, like, well, who would have thought that? You know, like the show is I think the premise of the show is we are going to do things you don't expect or think about. Right. Like Daredevil's going to have a gold helmet, you know, the Wrecking Crew is going to be a bunch of dorks, you know. It's going like Mr. Immoral is going to show up. Who even knows who he is? So I think the show's more interested in kind of like doing its own thing, and it's working. I mean, I had an okay feeling about the show. Yeah. Episode 7, I kind of feel like, man, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss watching this show every week and talking about it. I really am.
Yeah.
And that's weird because I've had this feeling before, like with it, like with What If and other shows, like, you know, watching it and talking it with you. It's like, you know, after a while, it's like, okay, this is fun, and then it's over. So it's like, ugh.
Right.
So again,
good thing we get another season of Ms. Marvel. We're getting a second season of Loki.
Yeah,
Loki was some of my favorite podcast episodes. So that'll be.
We're getting Black Panther 2. Got a lot to go on. So yeah. I'm not saying that the podcast is going in, but anyway.
No. But so like with this whole thing that this conspiracy to delay and take up some of She-Hulk's time, I'm not going to go out there and say that I'm confident that that's happening the way I was confident that Josh was after her blood. But it does seem like it's a distinct possibility.
Maybe. I'll give it a really strong, super strong.
I wouldn't bet on it the way that we bet on Josh and you lost. So now you owe me a month of Disney Plus.
Do I really?
That was the bet.
God. How much money is that?
You came up with the terms.
How much money is that?
I don't know.
$8 or something?
Something like that. 8 or 9.
You know what? I've got to stop betting. I really am. I am making the worst bets ever.
Yeah, next time come up with something that doesn't involve money. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Are you ready for some news?
Real quick before we get into the news you can abuse. So they do a little bit of a flashback. They show what happened with Josh and Jen.
Yeah.
For some reason, he copies her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what are they after on her phone? Is it just, hey, I'm here, she's asleep, I can copy her phone, so why not?
I have no idea.
There's nothing you can think of why they would want to copy your phone.
None.
Yeah, me neither. It doesn't. I don't know. By the way, you can't really do it that easily. Anyway,
well, a high tech world like that, you can.
Well, I mean, I don't know. And then he took her picture while she was sleeping.
I guess that's to confirm.
That's to confirm that he was there. He's like instead of cutting off her head and bringing her head back as proof, he's got a picture of her.
I don't think he could do that. The moment he started cutting her, she'd wake up and turn into She-Hulk. So this wouldn't work.
Well, he texted Hulk King.
Yeah.
Syringe emoji, green vial emoji, thumbs up emoji.
I mean, I guess he got
told Hulk King that he got her blood.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with it. Okay, we got to wait till we got 2 more weeks.
Yeah, 2 more episodes.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to find out who this
Daredevil has to show up next episode. Daredevil has.
See, that's what I'm thinking. We might get him in 2 because I'm thinking he might show up in the next episode.
No way.
And help her resolve this in the last episode.
No way.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
I mean, Emil Blonsky's shown up in several episodes.
Yeah, but no.
Hulk has shown up in several episodes.
Okay, maybe a strong, solid maybe.
I've got 40%.
That would take away. That would take away so much.
Here's my weather forecast for Daredevil. 40% chance of Daredevil in the next 2 episodes.
But that would take up so much agency and initiative from She-Hulk, right? It's not Daredevil show, it's She-Hulk show. So I don't see him hanging out more than that. I think the last episode is going to be focused on her. not Matt Murdock.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, news time.
Finally, who is Hulk King?
Oh, that's the leader's name.
Is Hulk King? Does that is there?
We talked about this last week.
Significance
we talked about this
name?
last week. We talked about this last week. There's nothing. There's no comic reference to that. We had the name
Hulk King last week.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. We talked about this last week.
How'd we have that name?
Yeah, no, because last week we learned that there was an intelligentsia and Hulk King was a text message or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no comic reference there, even though Hulk King is fun.
Now, if you read it a different way, it's just hulking.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hulking. I mean, the only kind of reference I could even grasp is that the Hulk was called the Green King during World War Hulk. But that's different. Anyway, okay, news and reviews time. Are you ready?
Ready. I'm finally ready.
We got three big ones. I'm going to save the biggest one for last. First up, Armor Wars. Remember Armor Wars?
I kind of remember it, but maybe our listeners don't.
What's that vitamin that some people take to help them with their memory? Because you definitely need to start taking some. What's it called? Geisha? It's going to be yeah, take that. Start eating that. It's going to be Armor Wars is going to be a movie, not a TV show.
What?
It's not going to be a show. They changed it to a movie. It's going to be a movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you have any idea what phase of where are they at in production of this? Are they
if it's
are they still at script?
Oh, they're definitely at script pre-production. They haven't started filming yet.
Okay.
So my theory is the script must be awesome, and someone's like, "This is too good for a show. We're making a movie out of it."
Right.
Because movies make a ton of money versus the show, which only makes money from subscriptions and stuff like that. So I think they're like, "Yeah, let's make." I think it's going to be a big one. So that's smart on them.
Now tell us, what do you think the plot of Armor Wars is going to be?
The original plot of Armor Wars was that Tony Stark went around the globe trying to find his stolen technology that was taken from him.
Okay.
It's easy to think of a movie plot where Don Cheadle as Rhodey goes across the world looking for Stark tech that's being stolen and abused and used.
Right.
So that's easy. I mean, I just wrote the script.
You know what would be kind of cool?
What's that?
As if the Vulture helped him do that.
It would be cool if the Vulture showed up. The Vulture's not in this universe currently, so sorry. Oh, yeah, he is. He is in this universe. It's my fault. I just kind of brain fart, the biggest brain fart in the world. Yeah, it would be cool if Michael Keaton's in this. It would be awesome if every armored superhero is in this. I would love to see these massive fights. I think it's going to be awesome.
But he was running a crew that was collecting this Stark tech. It'd be kind of interesting if he turns a new leaf and helps Rhodey collect it.
I'd rather them fight.
You'd rather them fight?
Yeah, it's more interesting to me.
I mean, it would be more interesting, but I don't know. I kind of like Vulture. I want him to be a good guy.
Everybody likes Michael Keaton.
I think he took things too far. Maybe he can reform himself. Yeah.
You know what? It's actually interesting. The end of Morbius, that terrible Spider-Man thing. They're in a different universe. And at the end of that, did you? I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I've heard about this, but none of this matters. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I think we talked about it. So technically, the Vulture's not in the MCU universe anymore. He's in the Venom universe. So anyway, gosh, that was so bad. What a terrible thing they did. Okay, anyway, Blade is in trouble. They just lost their director, and apparently, Michelle Ali is not happy with the production or anything.
Who was the director?
I don't know. Who his director is. Bassam Tariq.
Okay, never heard of him.
No, but this is not good. Losing a director is bad for a movie production.
You know what would be cool?
And so, what?
Just get the original director for Blade. Who was that?
Oh gosh, man. Yeah, what's his name?
Didn't he also write?
Steven something. He no, another guy wrote it. God, he put it on top of me. That's not going to happen.
That'd be cool.
They'll find a director.
I'd be down for that.
But they need to get this going and do it right. And if Michelle Ali's unhappy and the director's just gone, not good stuff.
I mean, the original Blade had some really cool direction in it.
Yeah, the original Blade is awesome. And so this one has to be awesome as well. So
right.
I don't know. They need to fix this. And they will. I mean, it's Disney. If they see a problem, they just throw a bunch of money on top of it until it's fixed. They have the resources to do it, So
who could do this if they didn't go back to the original Blade guy?
Who's that?
I bring this up all the time, but maybe it's time for Marvel to apologize to Edgar Wright and get him to do Blade.
He's not going to do that. No, and
I think he would be awesome for Blade.
We need someone that knows how to do a very gory, very violent, like action movie.
The director of Shaun of the Dead.
No, it's I love Shaun of the Dead, but it's more funny than it is like super violent. Like we need a good bloody mess, like it's the same.
He's done.
Edgar Wright can't direct all the movies you want to watch, Mike.
But he could be great for Blade, though. He could be great for Blade. I'm just trying to think of somebody that'd be good for Blade, and
They'll find somebody. Last but not least,
you need somebody with some style. You gotta have somebody with some style.
I don't see that being director
in here, huh?
I don't think it's going to be someone with name recognition, so the fan base would be like super excited about. And
is it? I want to say Jeremy Lin, but I know that's a basketball player. Do you remember the name of the director of some of the Fast and the Furious movies?
Oh God, no! Absolutely not. Okay, no.
Justin Lin? Is it Justin Lin?
No. They'll get him.
Someone. You gotta have Blade has to have style to the direction of it.
Yeah,
you gotta get a director.
The Fast and Furious movies doing that. Okay. Last but not least, this is the biggest news. Apparently, Hugh Jackman is going to play Wolverine again in Deadpool 3. That's huge. That's actually
pretty big news.
There's a couple of different reasons why this is big news. First of all, everybody loves Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I have not seen Logan yet, but I really do want to watch it. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah, Deadpool. I've only watched little snippets of Deadpool here and there, of Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I respect what Ryan Reynolds was doing with the character. I respect that fans love that character. I am not a big Deadpool fan from the comics at all. But I understand that fans do love Deadpool.
The movies were good.
This is going to probably make me want to watch it.
Whenever there's like a lull in between, when there's a gap in between movies and TV shows, we should do Deadpool 1 and 2.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yeah. But this, if you have to really think for a second. This movie, Deadpool 3, is doing several things at the same time. It's taking the Fox X-Men franchise, all those X-Men movies, putting them connected to the MCU. It's taking the Deadpool movies, connecting them to the MCU, right?
Yeah, because Deadpool 1 and 2 weren't part of the MCU.
Nope. And they were actually part of different universes. That's actually a completely different set of X-Men characters in Deadpool 1 and 2. So I've already heard stories about the multiverse in this, and I think that's the only way it's going to work. There's going to be some multiverse shenanigans in here that's going to pull all these characters in different ways. The current MCU does not have a Wolverine.
Well, this is the multiverse saga, right?
Yeah. And so whatever they're going to do, it's going to be very heavy in multiverse stuff. So it's going to be interesting.
Have you seen that scene floating around Twitter where Deadpool's talking to Wolverine in like a dark room?
No.
It's like it was floating all over Twitter when this was announced. And I vaguely remember it from one of the Deadpool movies, but it's like Deadpool comes into this doorway, shoots a guy, starts talking to Wolverine. He's like, "Hey, I'm just here cleaning up some timeline stuff. Blah 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 blah. At some point, you're going to be done with Wolverine." But then your pal, Wade Wallace, is that the name? Did I get the name right?
Mm-hmm. Wade Wilson is
going to call you, and he's going to need a favor. He's going to need you to come back. So do that, please. And then he shoots the guy a few more times and walks out.
Yeah, no, it's just part of this. I feel like is a lot of like just making fans super excited.
Yeah, basically that exact scene is happening now.
Yeah, and that's fine. I want a good story. That's all I ever care about is good story and cool action scenes. I don't really care about any kind of Twitter meme, Reddit meme stuff. It doesn't really matter to me that much. I just want a cool movie. So hopefully I can pull it off. I like
the stories for Deadpool 1 and 2 were pretty good. And action scenes are great. So
yeah, I mean, I know Cable was in the second one, and the story with Cable is based off the comics, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to, we have to just wait. But
Thanos
it should
Cable,
be fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah. And that's all the news. But that's enough news you can abuse.
That's a lot of news. That's a lot of news.
Do you know when this movie is supposed to come out?
The Deadpool 3?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2024.
That's well. Okay, I'll wait. That's it. So
maybe it's 23.
No, it's definitely going to be 24. Faithful listeners, thank you very much. That was episode 7 of She-Hulk. What was the title of it, Mike?
The title is The Retreat.
The Retreat. We got 2 more She-Hulk episodes left.
Yeah, what are we talking about next week?
The next episode of She-Hulk.
That's right. More She-Hulk next week.
Yep.
So what should people do? Like, should they share this with their friends in the meantime?
What I would do is make gift baskets for family members. Like, get some fruits and get some like candies, and then print out a QR code for our show, put it in the bag, and like ship it to your friends and families.
Right.
Make sure it's going to stay fresh. Or just a Christmas cards early. Just go ahead. It's September, but it's almost October. Send out Christmas cards to your friends and family with our QR code. Share the wealth. We have a lot of different shows coming up, a lot of cool episodes and discussions to talk about. And I am aware there are a lot of comic book and superhero based podcasts.
They're not as good as ours, though. I've listened to some of them. Yeah.
They're not even close to as good as ours.
And like what you really want is exactly what we're giving you, where I'm asking questions because I don't know any of this stuff from the comics, and you have a wealth of knowledge from the comics, so you're like filling in all the gaps. That's what you need.
I think we should we need a theme song. We need an intro song, but we probably won't ever have one.
Working on that.
No, you're not. Don't tease me.
You've always got the most creative ways to share this podcast with people. I think maybe what you should do is just like go up to your friends and say, hey, let me see your phone for a second. And then just like go into their podcast app and subscribe them to this podcast and hand them the phone back.
That's kind of creepy. You can just send them a text with the link. That's what you should do.
I mean, yours isn't creepy with the gift basket and the QR code?
No, that's nice. It's nice. It's a nice treat.
All right. Well, the easiest way is to just hit that share button and share it with all your friends.
All right. That is She-Hulk. We'll see you guys next week.